So when it comes to beer, there's essentially 3 categories. There's ales, lagers, and a mixed fermentation. And the difference between all 3 is actually simply on the microorganisms we use. So when it comes to brewing, we're generally using yeast. And so if we're making an ale, we're using a Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which is an ale yeast. It ferments at warmer temperatures. It's slightly quicker, so say 21 degrees Celsius for 3 to 5 days. And that's when we're walking into something like an IPA, so India Pale Ale, a Saison du Pont, which is also an ale from Belgium. We also have our Guinness for an extra stout. It's actually also an ale. So you have something that's really kind of chocolate coffee forward, quite high in alcohol, to something that's far more lighter, spritzy. It's got these cloves and phenols in the aroma, to something that's really kind of citrus hoppy forward. We're actually all in the same category. We then go across to something like a lager. So a lager is you're using a different yeast variety. So using Saccharomyces pastorianus, which is named after Louis Pasteur. And this particular yeast prefers colder temperatures and takes a longer time. So say 12 degrees for 7 to 14 days. And whereas our ale yeast might give us something like those strong yeast flavors like cloves and phenols, when it comes to the varieties of lager yeast available, they're much more cleaner. So if we're thinking of our typical maybe Carlings or our Hellers or our Pilsner Urquells, much more of a cleaner ferment. So what we're going to try up here is actually a Czech beer. It's a Pilsner, so it's a lager. It's a type of lager, it's a Pilsner, and this is going to have a really kind of Saaz herbal hop forward note to it. The third one I mentioned there was mixed fermentation. So you do have some beers that actually can use both ale and lager yeast, but more importantly, it's more about the other bacteria in there. So you have yeast and bacteria, and these can be things like Lactobacillus, Pediococcus, Brettanomyces, which is actually a yeast. And what's happening there is those bacteria are actually souring up the beer. And so you're going from something that's generally kind of bitter, malty, hot forward, or a mixture of those, to something that's quite tart, and go from like a really kind of lactic sourness to also to an acidic sourness, so kind of a vinegar end. So those organisms, when they're in there, create something really spectacularly different. But this beer here, hopefully you'll get the spritzy aroma coming off it. It's going to look like all the common attributes you've had of the stereotypical multinational lager, which is nice, clean, refreshing beer. But this one is certainly going to have a lot of spice, earthy, herbal content to it. So hopefully you can kind of smell it already. Wow. So what do we think of that?
Nice, beautiful. You can definitely smell it.
Yeah, you can get the aroma coming out. Yeah, so it's quite
really nice.